Welcome everyone to the final review and conclusions for the Lenovo AMD Ryzen ThinkPad A485. We had this now nearly 4 weeks, this test unit from Lenovo, and for the most part I was very satisfied. The hardware in case is really nice. Also the AMD APU, the CPU with integrated GPU, some Vega class GPU. Case-wise this is a classic IBM ThinkPad, black and beautiful minimalistic rectangular case that I like very much, and it's very functional in my opinion. I also don't need it slimmer and smaller. In contrast, I would rather have a millimeter more for better battery life, better display and better cooling system, but more to this in a minute. Port-wise we have two USB ports with power delivery and display for up to I think 5K resolution here, and you can charge on both, and not sure if display only works on one. This extended connector here is for some new external Lenovo docking station. That is what this additional pin header things there are for. Maybe power delivery or whatever they have placed there. So here ventilation, smart card reader. That is of course an option if you need that. Thanks to Lenovo we still get a headphone jack. Two regular sized Type A USB-C USB ports. So this always on port is 3.1 Gen 1 and this other here is USB 3.1 Gen 2. We also find HDMI 2, so you can run 4K displays with 60 Hz over this port, a regular sized Ethernet port that we all love for just working Ethernet without any hiccups and issues, and SD card that we YouTubers of course prefer to import our video every other day. And battery wise, as you've seen in my disassembly video, this comes with two batteries. This external one that you can just switch out on the road and in the airplane and such, and another one built in here, so while you switch out the battery your laptop can still run. Continuing here with what I find the few things that could be better. This display here is only Full HD, and unfortunately there's also not another option for that. I don't really need 4K. That is a little bit too high resolution for me. Of course I can take any higher resolution, however the drawbacks are processing power. While 4K is awesome for such a workstation display, I don't really need this on the go. But Full HD is a little bit too little in my opinion. Some 150% scaling for some sharper text would be welcome. And also the brightness is not the most outstanding. I think they specify here some only 220 or 250 nits depending which display you choose. So that, in my opinion, could be a little bit better. The keyboard is nice to type on, in contrast to some other vendors that have extremely slim keyboards that are nearly untypable today. Also with this exceptional track point here that I got used to quite a lot with my heavy typing programming workload. Also the trackpad is option for people who don't like this so much or mixed use. As I already showed earlier, this is a medium spec model with some Ryzen 5, 8 threads and 8 GB that I test upgraded to dual channel 16 GB, which after some struggle allowed for some performance improvements. This together with the display is the only criticism I have. This cooling and configurable thermal design power is in my opinion limiting this performance unnecessarily. I would really prefer if the vendors would have BIOS options for this, so users can choose whether they want a light and cool laptop or higher performance and can still work with this higher temperatures. This is also the question mark what continues with this BIOS updates. The BIOS updates show a little bit mixed track record, and this also just underlines the opinion from programmers like me who want an open source BIOS that they can fix and tweak the things themselves. And this is a question mark. How does it continue with this BIOS updates? Will Lenovo unlock a little bit more performance, or can they not do this due to the cooling system or marketing contracts with Intel? Supposedly, I don't know. So options and price wise, in Europe or at least Germany, this AMD ThinkPad starts at 1129 euro, including VAT, for an AMD Ryzen 3 Pro 2300U with a 500 GB spinning hard drive and 8 GB of RAM. This model, approximately as configured, starts at some 1329 euro for a Ryzen 5 Pro 2500, which has 8 threads instead of 4 threads, still 8 gigs of RAM, however a 256 GB solid state M2 And then for some €60 more you get the better display with touch option, and for some AMD Ryzen 7 Pro 2700U they ask some €1,699 including tax. And the big question for me is I did not have that model, so I have no idea how that performs in regards to thermal throttling and such. And obviously, as usual, you can, for a higher price, configure more options like the fingerprint reader or smart card reader, more memory and things like that. As I've shown in an earlier video, on the Linux side everything worked, even Vulkan, AMD Vega graphics and such. The only thing I found not working, as far as I remember, was the microphone input was slightly distorted. That could be some small bug in the ALSA driver that probably gets fixed sooner than later. Battery life with a smaller battery is not the most outstanding. I achieved around 5 hours. That could change with further BIOS updates or operating system optimizations. The only remaining question is, can we also game? And the answer is sort of. No, I'm not the biggest gamer, and as you may have seen on the stream library screenshot, I have like 2 games or so in Steam, which are Project Cars 1 and 2, just for the fun of it. And performance-wise, I found it to be similar to my 3.5-year-old Retina MacBook Pro with Intel Core i7 and dedicated NVIDIA graphics. This may not sound like a lot, however you should not forget that the old MacBook Pro is a, I think, 45 watt CPU plus NVIDIA GPU, and this is an integrated system on chip with a thermal design power of around 15 watts, so we are way more energy efficient and portable and lightweight and such, and on the performance level of the highest end that was possible around 4 years ago. As I said earlier, I personally would have preferred slightly more performance, but I also understand, of course, it is not a high-performance workstation, and for work on the go in Excel, Xcode, Visual Studio and such, this certainly is enough. And you should not talk while drive, obviously, and also not play this game with a keyboard. And to zoom in, as I said, I think this runs pretty good for 15 watt hardware. And we get around 20 something frames. As you can see, very small there, 18 right now. Of course, it's not a high-end gaming laptop, but for graphic development, programming and things like this, I think this should be more than enough. The good thing is, of course, in the Lenovo lineup, if you need more, you simply choose another ThinkPad with dedicated graphics and you're good to go as well. So here, 20 frames. So as you look at the frame counter and drive into the next car, so no gaming or talking while driving. This is of course way more than Intel integrated graphic delivers. Intel integrated graphics was mostly unplayable unless you switch to a very low resolution and decrease all the details. I think the last time I tested some Intel integrated graphics, it achieved about half of this frame rate maximum. It also runs some at least 20% usually faster with dual channel memory that I took out already to send it back. Yeah, really not the greatest results talking a review while driving. These 20 frames are right now with single channel memory. This dual channel memory I've seen around 25 frames per second. This is why for more graphic intense workloads you want dual channel in there. And with this I conclude my review. Overall a very nice machine that fits my overall Linux software development environment. Personally I would not be sure if I would spend more money for the Ryzen 7, not knowing how the configurable thermal design power throttling will be, and I would only wish for a higher resolution, brighter display and an improved thermal system to get the heat out of there and higher performance and longer battery life. As I said, I do not need the slimmest machines. I would rather prefer a little bit more performance. Maybe this would also be a strategy for increasing PC sales, because if slim and light laptops of today have the performance of 3-year-old laptops, then I understand why people don't upgrade to the latest and greatest machines if they do not have any performance benefits. And I personally do not get more work done with slim and light. I usually get more work done with higher performance. So where is the authorize? One nice feature, by the way, is this sync shutter here, where you have mechanically built in the slider to hide the camera. as I've seen more and more people having stickers over there. I hope you found my video series for this generation of machines helpful, and don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon for the next videos to come. So now I still need to deauthorize my Steam library here, wherever that was.